Hey there, I am so glad you're here. You are crushing through these points. If you have any questions, just reach out. Today is just a tad bit longer because I'll be sharing some specifics on the saving system that we set up, but it'll be worth it. In the last video on point 4's good saving habits, we discussed how saving helps develop discipline and delayed gratification develops contentment. And all the while your kids are saving, they're building security and independence and practicing financial goal setting and forward planning. Key skills needed for the future, but they can be learned at an early age, especially when your kids are applying them to their own wants. This brings us to point 5, which hinges on financial goal setting. It's like this quote: decide what kind of life you actually want, then say no to everything else. If you determine what you're going after, whether financial or life goals, and block out the distractions, you'll make huge progress toward reaching those goals. So point 5's financial goal setting utilizes a simple 4-jar or 4-account savings framework that helps your child save their earnings toward different savings goals and also spend on the goals once enough has been saved. This takes forward planning on the part of the child, often with help from mom or dad, and develops lots of good financial habits and character. In the previous video, I mentioned the Game Boy and Pokemon savings goal that my 8-year-old had and how she saved toward that using the system I'm about to describe. Through discipline and delayed gratification, she not only met her goal, but she strengthened her work ethic and confidence in managing her finances. Don't you want that for your kids? So let's quickly summarize this 4-jar or 4-account saving system in 3 steps. And I'm going to just refer to everything as jars, although I'll probably fluctuate over to accounts. Accounts are really more when they're older, jars for when they're younger. But number 1, set up savings goals as jars or accounts. 2, decide how money will flow into the jars to save toward the goals. And number 3, decide how money will leave the jars when you've saved fully toward a goal. So first, I recommend setting up 4 to 6 jars or accounts, each representing a savings goal. And based on my experience, we've been doing this since my kids were 7, I'd set the accounts up as follows: giving, savings, spendable, and investing. Now the savings can be multiple jars or multiple accounts. For example, our kids had college that they saved 30% of the money and car at 25%. So let me tell you about that a little bit here. Giving, we would allocate 10% of the earnings to giving. Savings would be about 55%. So again, college and car, ours totaled up to 55%. Spendable, 25%, and investing 10% of the earnings, totaling 100%, which you can always adjust these however you like. But again, I would have, for us, we had a separate jar for car and a separate jar for college. Even though that's all savings, those were separate. And when we moved to bank accounts, we had separate bank accounts for each of the kids for giving, savings for the car, savings for college, spendable, and investing. We actually didn't do our investing quite this way, but this is what I would recommend. When our family set up the system, we explained to our kids how each jar represented a different goal. If your kids are older, I highly encourage that they be involved in the discussion and decision-making about what the goals and percentages are. You want their buy-in to this. Even younger children should be included in a manner that allows them to take ownership. The spendable short-term savings account or jar is where you'll see the most opportunity for sharing financial concepts and for character development lessons, because the kids are usually saving for something specific with that account, whether it's a toy or an outing with friends, and their heart is more attached to that goal. Okay, that's number 1, setting up the jars or accounts. The second part of the system is how these jars get filled up with money, right? Well, whatever money your child earns would get dispersed between the accounts based on the percentages that were established earlier. Ways to earn money could include doing some chores at home or at a neighbor's, like babysitting or lawn mowing. But entrepreneurial ventures is also a way to earn money, from the proverbial lemonade stand with friends to customizing t-shirts or artwork and selling them, even developing a business that provides recurring income. Introducing entrepreneurial skills and activities from an early age is so valuable because having multiple income streams is getting more and more important. Now, the third part of the saving system is withdrawing from the accounts to spend the money once there's enough saved towards a goal. For younger kids, having real cash means they can count it and see how much they have, take it with them physically to a store, take the family out for ice cream, or use it to help someone in need. This is super empowering and confidence building as they start understanding how money is a tool with value in the world around them. And if given the freedom to do so, they can make decisions about how it's spent. This is so different from seeing you swipe a credit card and them thinking that's all you need to do to get stuff, which is so far from reality. Once the jars move to online accounts, I recommend using an app that has parental controls. And as the kids get older still, you can give them more freedom to make decisions if they prove themselves responsible or as they prove themselves responsible. I know there's a lot to this, believe me, but our family found that once we got the system set up and our kids using it over the years, it just became part of what our family did. It just became normal for us. Our kids had no idea that most families didn't focus on financial literacy. But if there had been a program on the market that had a framework of key financial concepts that kids should learn, it would have been super helpful to us, which is why I recommend including a program for your kids that focuses on both financial and entrepreneurial fundamentals that they can review on their own and with you and make it part of the family. This is a tremendous asset. Plus, it takes some of the burden off of you, the parent, and puts you into more of a support role, answering questions or asking your kids questions about what they're learning and what they're thinking about doing with the information or the newly learned skill set. Or if they want to start a business, maybe you get involved with that. The more you get involved, obviously, the more that they're going to learn and really take to heart. But they need to learn the fundamentals, right? You'd be amazed at the transformational impact this will have on your kids and your entire family. It certainly did for ours. You're welcome to check out the program that I recommend at the link below. Otherwise, our next video will bring us to point 6, cultivating a money mindset. And until then, take care.